because of the office she occupies. And that's not in doubt. We're not asking these questions out of disrespect, as some people are saying. How can the speaker be disrespected? Well, the speaker occupies a public office. The money we are talking about is public money. So it's our job to ask for accountability for public money. So stop trying to trip us by saying we're being disrespectful. There's nothing disrespectful about what we are doing, about us asking questions. And we are not going to stop asking questions of accountability. So again, we want to ask government, if it is true, as the speaker is trying to paint it, because she seems to say, government is behind me, I'll not be investigated. What happened to the government policy of zero tolerance to corruption? Was it just another phrase that was said to excite the people of Uganda? Will this be treated like the Mabati saga, where some powerful people were ignored, even when they were involved in stealing Mabati, iron sheets belonging to Karamoja? So our hope also is that government will come out clearly, because the speaker seems to say she has the backing of government. You don't have the backing of government to involve yourself in financial impropriety. Respond to these issues as yourself. The speaker has also been on the loose blaming everybody she can blame. She has blamed homosexuals. I saw her blaming the Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, saying these old women who are fighting us, we don't know what they left in the speaker's office and they want to reclaim. And she said, you see, they're developing their areas, Kamuli is developed. Why don't they want us to develop our other areas? It is clear who she was talking about. She was talking about the Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga. I don't know if there are any personal issues between those two leaders. That's none of my business. My business is that the speaker accounts for taxpayers' money. I don't know who next she's going to blame, because now every day she's looking for someone to blame. If it is not homosexuals, now it is Kadaga, and tomorrow I don't know who. I don't care who might have issues with her, as she does claim that those who are raising these issues, they're fighting her. I don't know. I don't care. What I care about is that she gets to account for this taxpayers' money. That's what is important to me and to the people of Uganda. That's what is important to us. So stop giving us these excuses, finding somebody to blame. You respond to the issues we are asking about. It is possible you have people, all of us in politics have people who don't like us, obviously. I'm not naive to think that as leader of the opposition, as MP in Akawa West, and whichever other positions I hold, I'm not naive to think that everybody likes me. No. But you see, I can't use the excuse of those who don't like me by not responding to critical accountability issues. No. Let's not run away from accountability. Everybody has people who don't like them. But we demand that accountability is attended to. And what we are asking of the speaker, part of accountability, for example, for some of these trips, which you probably didn't take, if you cannot account, refund the money. Yes. Of course, there are other things which there is no other way she can sanitize them, yeah? But for these trips, which we believe some of which you did not take, because you cannot be in Kigali for the Rihanna Games and in Nairobi at the same time, it doesn't make sense. Refund that money. Because it's taxpayers' money, that's part of being accountable. And I want to give us an example, because I've seen some people talk about it in my own situation. I went to Nairobi on behalf of Parliament to visit the Honorable Segirinya Mohammed, because he's on the side which I lead, the opposition side. And I gave indication that I'll go for one night. I'll be there for one night and return to take care of other responsibilities that I do have. So I did go, came back, gave a report, I interacted with the doctors, gave a report to Parliament about the progress of this member and so on. A couple of days later, I saw a reflection on my account of money. They had processed money for 5 days as opposed to 1 day. for which I was in Nairobi, which I had indicated I'll be going for. But I'm told they were processing for several others, so it was done collectively. I said, okay. But as is normally the case, as we should be accountable as leaders, when you travel, because sometimes it might be you have gone somewhere and then you realize I need to return for some other engagements. You submit your boarding passes. We have an office here at Parliament called the Accountability Office, where those boarding passes are submitted, and so the day is tabulated. Any extra days for which you were not where you were meant to be, they are deducted off your emoluments for the following month. And so I did submit all of that because I said, no, I was there for one night, so I should not be paid for 5 days. But that process delayed. And so the money was not deducted off the March emoluments. So I was told it will be deducted off the April emoluments. I said, no, I'm not going to wait for that. So I withdrew money from my account for the 4 days, and I went and deposited that money in the accountability office, and I got a receipt for it. Because I said, I don't want this matter to take longer than it should. Yeah, so if you're waiting to deduct it off my pay of April, I'm not going to wait for that. I don't want people to misuse it. So I withdrew money for the 4 days, and I paid it back to Parliament. That's what we ought to do as accountable leaders. Even though, like I'm saying, I did ask for, I was meant to be there for one night, but in processing it can happen. Because there were many other people going for different things still in Nairobi. That's okay. Because like again I've said, sometimes you can go planning to be somewhere for a week, and you realize you have to come back for whatever reason. You account. How? That money ought to be deducted. If it takes long to be deducted, as was in my case, you take it and pay back that money. That's what we ought to do as accountable leaders. And so that's my urge to the Speaker. Some things she cannot explain, and we have got to have proper accountability, prosecution where need be, and so on. But there are those where, if you were in Kigali, the money that you got for Nairobi, you take it back. Because you couldn't have been in two places at the same time. And then, for Kigali, we shall demand and say, but your per diem is meant to be $990. Why were you paid $4,000 per day? Take back that money also. That's part of being accountable as leaders. I also wanted to talk about the threats. We have been seeing whistleblowers and other people, members of the public, who are raising these concerns.